Manchester United are said to be exploring short-term options for a manager if they can't get the long-term replacement that they're hoping for in the summer. And one of the names that has been identified, Craig, for this short-term option is Carlo Ancelotti, who Sir Alex Ferguson is said to be a big admirer of. What do you think of that?
Well, it certainly could only be short-term. I don't think that's a good long-term appointment for Manchester United. As successful as he has been, he's kind of a manager who goes in where things are kind of in place. He puts an arm around great man manager, forges a relationship with the players, gets the best out of them. A bit like he's doing at Real Madrid at the moment. It's not the best Real Madrid squad, as you know, Kay, but he's managing to squeeze just enough out of them. So I think he's that kind of manager. And when you look at United and the state they're in, it's still a rebuild. Still a rebuild after all that money that was spent. So I could see potentially a 12-month solution there or something like that. But isn't that scary? Isn't that scary that here we are talking about one of the richest clubs in the world, one of the biggest juggernauts in the football planet. Okay, not a great side at the moment, but scurrying around currently with an interim manager who may or may not be moving upstairs, who may or may not be pitching for the job, and talking about short-term options. I mean, it's quite scary, isn't it? I mean, how badly run has this club been over the last few years to be in this scenario where they're scratching around to see who's going to be available in the summer?
Well, you mentioned that. It's actually part of the report is that Ralph Rangnick himself has recommended that he could stay in the role that he's currently in for another year.
I've recommended myself. Yeah, no, I don't think I've seen enough, and I know there's a lot of problems there. Well, yeah, they might go with that, but they've been uninspiring under Ralph Rangnick as well. This is a consequence, and my thoughts on the Solskjaer appointment from day one were, and I was steadfast that it was going to be a disaster. But this is and I don't want to pile on Solskjaer's a nice guy, not a very good manager for Man United. But this is a consequence of sitting on your hands, listening to some idiotic pundits, thinking that a few results and a nice, legendary status, smiling, happy-go-lucky chappy was taking you in the right direction. 2+ years of kidding yourself on whilst other managers, went into jobs. And this, it's not just results, it's not just building a squad, but this denial of having a guy in charge who should never have been there has left them in this perilous place where there really isn't many people out there that are available and ready to come in and do this huge job. And so it's not just something that's happened over 6 months. This is a consequence of reacting to an interim manager doing particularly well and giving him the job because he was the next player. This has left him in this position now, scratching around to see who's available.
Just to end on Ancelotti, there's been those leaks from the dressing room constantly from Manchester United. Yep. Do you think that's one man that maybe could solve that because he is good at dealing with the big stars?
Yeah, possibly. But you know what? I don't think... I think Manchester United short-term, depending what happens with, Pochettino and Ten Hag and others, I think they will need somebody short-term. I'm not so sure Ancelotti needs Manchester United short-term or long-term. That is a cesspit at the moment of difficult players, underperforming players, inconsistent players, and they're a country mile, for those that have watched Man City and Liverpool, off challenging them. So, yeah, they might need a short-term solution in Ancelotti, but I personally don't think Ancelotti needs Manchester United or potentially should go anywhere near that. He's probably better off somewhere else.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.